Hey, I'm going to try to take this off here. Nope, can't do it. So that link's going to be in there. Oh, well.
You know, you would have to go to, let me see. I am your mod, so let me see if I can do it from my other phone.
Why are we echoing?
Because I just turned on the other one real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Get out. Don't go in there.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, no. Not let me delete it that way.
That's okay. It gives us time to let some people get in here.
I'm going to report you or block you. I don't know how that works.
Don't block me.
No, I don't think anybody's going to grab it anyway.
Okay.
For now on, since you're on, if you do it on your phone, you can send it to me in Messenger that way.
Well, I couldn't do that after. Where are you? Hello, Selena. Hello, Maisie. How are you ladies doing today? Where are we at? Where did you go? Dipey. I don't know where she went, guys. She was in here a minute ago. Something's up with my computer, and when I went to plug it in or turn it on and pull up StreamYard, it's dead. So I'm having to do this on my phone, which I've never done before. So but getting back to the subject at hand, Dippy and I discussed talking about hello, Mother Goose. We're going to discuss the Madeline McCain thing. And we have very different opinions when it comes to the girl, Julia, whether she is or isn't Madeline. Huh, Dippy? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're going to have to get over next to your phone so people can hear you.
I trying to get the knife away from the kitty.
Oh.
He was trying to play kitty side. He was rolling all over it. What the hell's wrong with you?
Okay, anyways, getting back to you were talking about how you were all this new information that's coming out about that girl Julia, saying that she has a claim to be Christina Aguilera's sister. I did watch the video you sent me last night, and that woman talks about, she brings that up, but she never gives any backstory about how we even know this, what connection Christina Aguilera's sister. I mean, is that girl missing?
No, she's not. Okay, so what it was is that she said she was a long lost sister of Christina Aguilera. Another girl on TikTok found out all this back information on her from her.
Okay, hold up, right there. That's what I was trying to finish. And secondly, that woman was saying that she claimed to be this other missing girl, but refused to say who the other missing girl was.
She put it. Did you read it? Read the. She said she wasn't going to go through it. She put it on and let you read it yourself.
There was a little teeny tiny article she kept up there for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was another little girl in Germany that was missing.
And how do we know that she claimed to be her?
She did supposedly she did the same exact thing she's doing now to the McCains and got that family all riled up and wasn't her.
Well, and so that makes her an evil person? Because she's trying to find out who she is?
No, but her parents did go. Well, so now from what I'm understanding, her parents are agreeing to take this DNA test, but it has to be done in a lab.
No, it has to be done by somebody they approve of.
in a lab, like a real lab.
Well, yeah, I'm
And I
sure if
agree with that 100%. Just, I mean, because the
I do
McCann
too,
said
but
they're not going to do it.
I find it being it's roadblocks. It's just another reason not to do the DNA.
I think that if they do it, the McCanns will do it too. But I don't know, the picture that I seen of her and both of them, the parents that raised her, she looks an awful lot like them.
Well,
Awful
there
like
wasn't
them.
there wasn't there a new piece of information that came out that supposedly somebody heard her supposed biological mom say that when they got the girl or when they took the girl.
Yeah, well, we don't. She said that's a memory she remembered a memory that her mom said it, or she
Well,
overheard her mom saying it, or something like that. But I don't know. I just this case is one of those you don't know what to believe until you get some kind of evidence, and the evidence would be the DNA test, right?
yeah, that's true. But how is she supposed to get anything done with everybody on YouTube jumping down her throat simply because she's not got the she's not been in church all her life. She's not went to Sunday school every Sunday, and she has a questionable past or present for that matter. Then obviously she can't be Madeline McCain.
I
I mean,
just
I
think,
think that's bullcrap. Just because the girl is doing stuff that I'm sure there's thousands of girls out here doing, like
oh yeah,
selling pictures of herself, uh, that doesn't mean that she can't be this person. That doesn't
oh, no,
mean
no.
that she has questions.
I was just bringing up things that she has done in the. I don't know. Well, they said that she's currently still doing that.
I
Um,
mean, okay, but I mean, I'm just arguing the
that's,
fact that
if that's how she makes her money, that's how she makes her money. Go for it. Do what you got to do to make it.
right, but
Um,
that don't mean that she's not who she thinks she might be just because she's doing that.
very truthful. But at the same time, it goes back to you need to start at home instead of trying to go and figure out who you are. You have to start somewhere, and you have to start at home. And now, if her family is willing to do this by an approved person that they trust,
And y'all, whatever. You don't find it question. You want to question this girl, but y'all don't want to question the parents who could be criminals
well,
and
this
not
would
want to get caught.
no, but this is a one way for them to find out to find out the truth, though. A
Yeah, but if they're
DNA test is the
bucking,
only way.
but if they're bucking up against it and don't want to do the DNA test and they're this and they're that and oh she's crazy and she needs to be in a psychiatric hospital somewhere and this and that and the other, that's another way to try to keep it from going to a DNA test to prove that they're not her parents, to prove that they broke the law and stole this child when she was little and possibly harmed her throughout her life. Does not anybody take into consideration these people possibly could be the criminals? They could be the people that are in the wrong, and they're just bucking against the system so that they don't get caught sooner than what has to be. I mean, everybody's just willing to take their word for it. Oh, she's our child and she's mentally insane
I'm
and
not.
she's just doing
I'm
this.
not taking their word. I go by what the picture look like. Like I'm looking at that mother and that father that raised this child, and I know that a lot of times being around somebody you can adapt to their things, but the features don't change like that. Like if you're around somebody long enough, your nose is not going to start looking like their nose. Your hair could possibly. It depends on how it was trained, but your features aren't going to change drastically to match somebody's. You see what I'm saying? Her
Yeah.
nose looks just like her mother's. Her eyes look just like her father's.
Hang on a second. I know we're not supposed to be reading the chat, but Mama Mac, I understand that this is probably and possibly not her. That's not the point that I'm arguing. I'm arguing the point that everybody is jumping down her case simply because she's had a GoFundMe page before. Oh, There's tons and thousands of people who have GoFundMe pages, which are doing it for nefarious reasons. She's stupidly put a GoFundMe page up for her dog. Okay, that doesn't mean that she is not a lost child who just is wanting to find her parents. She might not be Maddie.
She could be another missing child. She could be. And that's my whole point. I don't think she's Maddie. I think she may be another missing kid if she is not the people that raised her biological kid. But she looks awful too much like her mom and dad for it not to be. I just think that she wants to be somebody else's kid, not who she belongs to.
Well, does that not tell you something right there? What kind of a life maybe did she have? But I mean, think about it. If it was your child and they got it in their crazy head that they belong to somebody else, would you not do what you needed to do to prove not to the world, but to that child that you were her parent and that you loved her? You would take a DNA test. You would talk to people. You would do whatever you could to prove to the child, not the world.
Well, I mean, if this really isn't her first time doing it and she's done it before, that's a big red flag there, though, because this isn't the first time she's doing it.
I would love to see those. I would love to see that information where it says that she came out and claimed this to somebody else. And I'm not talking about on that video because, like I said, that woman throws that up for 30 seconds, refuses to say what the child's name is or the family name, whatever.
If I can find, I wrote it down. Damn it, I should have never fell back asleep. I wrote it down to go look at it.
I've tried to look, but every time you bring anything up about her name, then it just brings up about Maddie's.
Yeah, it does. I noticed that myself. Where's that paper? When I got up at 4:30 this morning, I was looking at it, and then I was writing down notes, and then I fell back asleep. Then woke up, talked to you, fell back asleep. What is the name? It's Becca Smith is the name of the TikToker that has all this information. Her name is It's Becca Smith. OG has TikTok. OG, can you find that and send it to me and Nana?
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Or send it to me and I'll send it to Nana if you don't have Nana. Which I forgot to add you into the group with us so that way you can talk to everybody.
I'm sorry. I just think it's horrible that everybody, just because this girl has a colored past or colored present, and just because she is literally, supposedly, allegedly trying to find what might be her biological parents, they are just jumping all down her throat and saying that she's a horrible person and this cannot be true simply because this has been going on for a while. And if she is on TikTok, Instagram, whatever thing she is on, doing the colorful things that she might possibly still be doing.
She can't do that on TikTok. She can do that on Twitter and shit, and not TikTok.
But it makes you wonder if she isn't telling the truth about being harmed when she was smaller, because that's the very thing that abused people.
They're not denying that. They have not denied that she was abused as a kid. They have not said, I've not seen nowhere at all her parents denying that. But that's why she was in and out of a lot of mental institutions and has a lot of issues. And
okay, so who are the parents saying that she was abused by?
Okay, so the guy that she picked out in the picture,
right,
one of his relatives somehow is incorporated with the grandmother. So it could either be him, his brother, or his father. That has something to do with the grandmother. That's how she was abused by that guy.
Wasn't that picture connected to Maddie McCain's case somehow?
He was presumed to be maybe one of the ones to take her, but
exactly.
they never said if he was one. It was just a sketch of him that somebody may have or may have not seen.
I find it ridiculous that people can't. I'm not saying everybody needs to believe every word that she's saying, but don't get out there and try to discredit her just because you don't like the lifestyle that she's leading or has led in the past, or just because she's thrown. Okay, Dawn and Candace, not to get back into Summer's case, but Dawn and Candace has had a GoFundMe page. So everything that they've said, should we just shut it down? Not believe it? They're just out for the money.
Their GoFundMe wasn't even started by them, though, was it? I'm pretty sure somebody else started their GoFundMe.
But I'm sure they had to have knowledge of it being done.
And I mean, I am not saying that I'm blaming her for what she's doing to her with herself, how she's making her money, or anything like that. I have no. It's more or less, if this really isn't the first time this girl has done this, and she's done it with a superstar, she's done it with another little girl.
Okay, hold up. Have you seen that for a fact? Do you know that she said that she was Christina Aguilera's long lost sister? Are you there?
No, I never went back on TikTok to check that out. That's like I said, that girl Becca. I've been so not feeling good today, so I really didn't do my research like I should have. So whatever goes on with today is my fault, y'all, because I was just under the weather. But no, I agree. I mean, I'm agreeing with you on some things, Nana. I really am. I just don't believe she's Maddie. Like, out of all things, she could do whatever she wants to do. She can be who she wants to be. I just don't believe she's Maddie. Out of all kids, she could be somebody else.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that people shouldn't be throwing out there, oh, she's claiming to be Christina Aguilera's sister. Well, if she is, somebody please show us the video where she says that. We're taking somebody else's word for that being fact, and we shouldn't.
And it was a few years ago, so it wasn't nothing like here in the last year or so. This was a few years ago.
For all we know, she could have been just, oh, well, hell, I'm Christina Aguilera's sister. I mean, kind of smart ass comment, not meaning it for real, is all I'm saying. And the other, if she says that she's somebody else's, or she was some other lost child, maybe she thought she was that kid and then found out she wasn't. So maybe her grandmother said, well, you might be Maddie McCann. Why don't you check into that one? I mean, try again, I'm just agitated at people throwing her under the bus simply because it's the popular thing to do right now.
No, I mean, I'm not throwing her under the bus. I'm just saying I don't think she's Maddie. I believe she is who she is, and that the only way we're gonna find out is if her parents get off their BC and go get this test done. And that's the only way it's going to prove it to anybody as well as herself. So everybody will leave her alone. But if she isn't who she is, I just believe she might be somebody else. Definitely not Christina Aguilera's sister, because she's Spanish.
I'm just saying, I think that the parents, what are supposed to be the biological parents, is bucking up too much for them to actually be her biological loving parents.
Well, some parents are a little bit more detached than others are, though. Maybe they just look at her like she's been nothing but trouble since all that stuff happened to her when she was little.
Would that make you not love your kid?
I mean, we're different. We here in the United States, we're raised differently than people overseas. You know what I mean?
It matters. Yes, she's old enough to go have her own DNA test done, but you can't forcibly make somebody else give their blood or their saliva.
No, but
And you
that
can't,
also,
she can't take it against their will, or it wouldn't count as legal, you know?
that's only in the court of law. Would they be considered illegal, right? But we got to also look, they're in a different country. So our laws don't necessarily apply to them. Getting somebody's DNA and testing it, as long as you're not going to court for it, there's nothing against the law on that. Like I
Are
could go
you
get
sure?
my mom's DNA and take it and test it. And as long as we are not going to court, they can't say nothing against it. You know what I mean? What would she go to court
I
for?
don't know about that.
What would she go to court for though? Like, I mean, that's what I just don't understand, because I don't understand what there would court have to be involved in it.
Because to
In
get a
jail, but she's
because
old enough.
that would be like going in and catching somebody asleep and sliding a tool into their vein and collecting blood without their say so. It don't matter if it's hair or saliva, you're still taking it. It's part of them, and you're taking it without their consent.
Yeah, but if she gets it from like a tissue or a hairbrush, she's not taking it from them. She's taking it from an
Honey,
object.
the law themselves can't get DNA like that unless somebody
It
takes
has a
and
warrant.
throws it in the garbage. They have to literally throw it away for them to be able to collect that and use it.
Yes, I know that. But like I said, that there again leads what our rules and regulations and laws are here in the United States. We don't know if that's the same over there.
Right.
So,
And discovering we don't know if she ever goes to their house. Obviously, there was a reason she ran away from home. Maybe she's scared to go back there. Maybe that's why she can't just go grab some DNA from them. I mean, like you said, Dippy, you said that the parents agreed that she was hurt as a child. So, but we still don't know who harmed her.
no, she thinks it's that it would, whoever it was, like I said, had something to do with the mom. I mean, the grandma. Whoever hurt her was involved with the grandma somehow. Excuse me,
Yeah,
Emma.
they could get a court order if they could prove that she wasn't their kid. The courts could get a court order to do whatever, but she has to
If the
prove that she's
law
not hers.
if the law was on her side, they could go to the judge and warrant it. But again, that goes back to she's not in the same country as us. So we don't know how they go about doing stuff over there. But as far as I know, is the police don't want nothing to do with this over there where she's at.
Which makes absolutely no sense because uh it's an open investigation on Maddie about who took her or where she's at or whatever. And you would think that they would be willing to order the parents to give a DNA to solve that, at least that section of it.
I also read somewhere that they're getting ready to close Maddie's case, I think it was, since it's been so long. Because they can, right now, they can legally presume her passed on.
They could have done that after 7 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, again, we don't know how they do it over there, but from my understanding, what I read, that they are getting ready to close her case.
I hate trying to read on this phone. These comments are. Okay, why even mention something like what? Okay, sorry, Dippy. It says if there was a crime and they could prove that they were involved, yes, they can get a court order for DNA tests, right? Why even mention something like that? Because once you bring it out, they will run with it. So if she was hurt as a child, then you're going to have people questioning, did you hurt the child too? Or did someone else hurt the child? For example, she might have been abused by hands of somebody else. Or
This
she
is
could have
already
been abused by the hands of her parents.
Miss Pam. This is already out. This is how we found out about it. It's already been talked about. Um, for one, and two, yes, you can go by the warrant, the DNA, whatever, for here in the United States, but we don't know exactly what the laws, the rules, the regulations in other countries are. Hold on, sorry.
Sorry, guys. Must have been somebody come up to her door. It just, I haven't been keeping up with it much either, discovering. I just know that I just think it's horrible that this girl can't even, she's saying, whether people believe her or not, she's saying, I'm not wanting anything. I'm not wanting money. Those Facebook or the GoFundMe pages aren't mine. I just want to know who I am. I just want to find out who I am. Why can people not just help her do that and stop jumping down her throat? Okay, if she is, she is. If she isn't, then she isn't. It's not like she's coming out saying, I am this person and I don't need a DNA to tell me that. She's saying, I want a DNA because I want to find out who I am. Exactly. And from what I understand, she did do a ancestry.com genealogy test. I don't know what the results are, but I mean, I'd seen that when this all first came out, or I think she might have talked about it on one of her videos that she took one. And maybe that's why she's so adamant. It just drives me nuts that people
All right,
want to jump down her throat.
I'm sorry, I'm back. What about with the boyfriend that she's with now? Not the fiance she had the GoFundMe for. I don't know what that was about, but I'm talking about the boyfriend now. He is getting to the point where he don't even want to be with her anymore because of all of this.
Okay. It matters. How is she supposed to prove it? Through DNA? Neither set of parents will give her any DNA to prove who she might belong to.
Yeah, her mom and dad don't want to do it unless it's in a facility by the people they can trust. They said
That they approve of, right? Not anybody that she wants done, which I can't imagine. It's not like you could pull somebody in off the street and say, hey, give them a DNA test. It would have to be through some type of medical office to get the DNA done.
they're right, they have a lot of people. Yeah, if their DNA is in that database discovering truth, then it would work. But the McCanns aren't even in that. They don't have, for some reason why they don't, their DNA is not in the system. And with a missing kid, they should be in the system, but they're not.
You would think they would be.
Yeah, because if they were in the system, she wouldn't even be going through this right now. She would have found out by now.
Okay, evidently the McCann family doesn't have okay, it says that's fine, but she has McCann family. She can have a DNA test and they can match it up with the McCains. That would prove it and put a halt to all this. But evidently they don't have it in the system. That's what Dipey just said. Maybe I'm alone on my beliefs as far as this girl goes. I mean, I don't know. I just think that people are to give her a chance.
Well, I mean, I want her to get this DNA test so that way she does know who she is. I really do want her to know who she is, whether it be who she is right now or whether it be her being somebody else. I would love for her to find out her, because it's got to be heart-wrenching to go through something like this and not know who you are, not where you, not, horrible feeling that you don't belong where you're at. And, just, it's got to be horrible.
Well, she can't get the DNA. They can't get the DNA test done, like I said, unless either one of the sets of parents is willing to give up the DNA, and they're not either set.
No, McCain's won't do it until she gets it done with her family to prove that they are not her family.
Which
They
is
were
stupid
all
to me.
set to
I
do
would
it
want to
until
know.
somebody started talking to them.
Right, talking in their ear and talking them out of it. But which I think is stupid. I would want all this to quieten down. The McCain should go, just have the DNA, never meet her, never talk to her until the DNA results are back, and then they can see one way or the other. If it's not their daughter, then just drop it and never speak about it again.
Yep.
It would just be easy. And you would think that they would want to do that. You would also think that they would want their DNA to be out there in a public DNA bank so that people could match up, unless all the rumors that went around when she first went missing may be true.
Had something to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, who does leave their 3-year-old home alone while they're out at the bar?
3-year-olds and 2 1-year-old babies.
Among other kids that were there too, but they were all younger too.
But they weren't in the same apartment. They were in different apartments. These 3 children were in that place by themselves. What if that hotel had a caught fire? What if one of them babies had a choke during the middle of the night? Mm-hmm. What if your child got gone? Lord of mercy. I wish they'd have been in the United States. Let's hope. I would hope that the law would, in the United States, if you left 3 children, 3 and under, at home
real quick
while you went out partying, and something happened to one of them, hopefully those parents would have went to jail simply for neglect. That set me on fire back when that first happened. But I wasn't in the true crime community at the time. Okay, Dipey, I want to talk to you about another case.
All right. The ones you told me about yesterday? Yeah,
about Lucy. I was hoping to get a video out this morning about Lucy. It's one of the older cases, guys, that I've been doing, the ones with the robotic voices on. But I'm going to do this one personally because I don't know what it is, but I got a special spot for this little girl for some reason. She was 3 years old when she went missing in 1997. Her mom and dad were having it rocky. Her mom moved in, her best friend, with her 2 kids into the house. The mom supposedly goes to a mall one day, lets the little girl out on the driver's side. She walks around and gets stuff out of the passenger side of the car and turns around, and guess what? The baby is gone. Now, they also say that later on in the investigation, she gave an interview to a news station, I think it was, and she changed the story. Then it was supposedly she wasn't just not looking for 2 minutes. She was occupied for 10 to 15 minutes. When you're getting something out of your car, how in the world can you take 10 to 15 minutes before you look up to see where your 3-year-old is at? Then, like in 2016, I think it was 2006, there's an adult who was a child in the home at the time the child went missing, comes forward and says that they saw the baby on the floor the day before she supposedly came up missing, and that she looked unalive at the time. I want to dig into this. I want to find out as much as I can about this, and I would love to talk to the brother. His name is Daniel Meadows, and he still lives in Clarksville, Tennessee, I believe it is. Have you heard anything about it? Did you read anything about it, Dipey?
A little bit. I was reading this. There's a part 1 and a part 2 to it. I haven't been able to find part 1. I only found part 2. And this is the one where she changes her story. And I think this was also where the person said that they seen her the day before laying on the floor.
Well, see, was it the judge? I think the judge even ordered when they were filing for the dad filed for a restraining order against the mom before the baby went missing, and the judge had to order that woman to turn over all firearms that were in the house so that she wouldn't use them against her husband. And this was before the baby went missing. Sort of makes her feel a little suspicious, don't you think?
Mm.
No.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we have seen it happen here on YouTube. It reminds me a lot of Summer's case, I think is why it touches me.
And it's there in Tennessee, so.
Yeah, it's not far from there either.
Mm-mm.
But I'm going to be coming out with a video about it probably tomorrow, later today, tomorrow.
She went missing in July of 1996.
Yeah, I think it was July 26, 1996, maybe 26.
July 25th. It says July 25th.
25th. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful little girl.
I don't see, not even back then. I wouldn't have left my 3-year-old outside of the car wandering around by himself. Anyway, in a parking lot of a mall or any parking lot for that matter, with cars that are all around you.
The law enforcement, because she also told another story that the baby got gone at the mall parking lot in Clarksville, Tennessee. But law enforcement has started to believe that the baby was not ever even at the mall, that whatever happened to her at home, because the German Shepherd cadaver dog that they brought out to the family home when they investigated it hit on a pond twice out behind the house, and it's 101 acre cow farm. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, and the dog hit on the pond so bad that the dog even dove into the water. But they drugged the pond and didn't find anything. Dippy, Emily Narb is saying hello.
Sorry. I was reading this thingy.
We're talking about Lucy Meadows, Lucy Rebecca Meadows. She was 3 years old, discovering, who went missing in Clarksville. Basically, it's a subdivision of Nashville, Tennessee, but it's somewhere around Clarksville. And it was in 1996. First, the mom says she just took her eyes off of her for a couple minutes and then changed it to 10 to 15 minutes. Then changed a whole different city that she actually went missing in. Like I said, it sounds a lot like Summer's case. Then before the year was up, just within months of the child going missing, the mom completely backs herself away from the police and refuses to cooperate with the police. The woman that was living in the home with them with her 2 children refused to take a polygraph test, refused to allow the police to and talk with her children. The mom failed 2 different polygraph tests, one with TBI, one with FBI.
So somebody's seen them, or somebody. I'm gonna kick this cat's butt.
No, she's never been found, but one of the kids that were in the home back in 96.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading.
Before the baby went missing, came forward in 2006, I think it was 2016, anyways, and told that they remember seeing the baby on the floor lifeless the day before she supposedly went missing.
It says in 2006, a family member came forward, variously reported as either being Young's brother or Lucy's brother, who claimed Lucy never went to the mall. He said the night before she was reported missing, he saw some panic stricken family members gathered around Lucy on the floor, heard someone ask for a Bible. The family member was 12 at the time and didn't tell anyone. Despite this, the case remains unsolved. Authorities reported that the family member who came forward passed a polygraph, whereas Young failed two, one given by Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and another one by the FBI. So Lucy's mother failed both polygraphs.
You're right. Her dad passed it. And the Tammy Dye, the woman she had living with her, she refused to even take one. She wouldn't take one, wouldn't let law enforcement question her children, nothing. She refused to cooperate at all. And I don't see why that didn't throw up some red flags. She was the babysitter.
They remember seeing Lucy's mother at the parking lot of the mall, but not seeing the baby with her.
Right. On the cameras.
No, this was an eyewitness.
No.
So they seen a minivan in the vicinity of Lucy's mom at the mall, but the baby wasn't seen.
It was a light brown or champagne colored minivan. They supposedly saw an Asian woman and a white man, or no, it was a man with a tan, which they said could possibly have been Hispanic or Asian, and a white woman and a small child, and that the little girl went with the man. Lucy Meadows. Her full name is Lucy Rebecca Meadows. Meadows, Meadows, or however the hell you spell Meadows.
Meadows.
Okay, yeah. I knew something didn't sound right.
Yeah.
I would just like to do it. I would really like to find out more about this case. Because it really.
Okay, so the description was a long button down blue denim dress with buttons on the front, white socks, and canvas shoes. Why would she be wearing a long sleeve shirt in July? She's
I didn't think that. Yeah. Sort of like another child wearing a jogging outfit in the middle of June, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can kind of see that. Kids wear the weirdest shit when they dress themselves. Lucy was reported seeing Rivergate Mall. God, that's Tennessee.
You know what I really find strange is during the divorce, which happened after the baby went missing, the mother still wound up winning custody of both children, Daniel and Lucy, in the divorce. And that was after she went missing. Isn't that weird? Not to mention that Young, that was her mom's name, or Young, however you pronounce it, had an adult daughter who was in the army. So she had 3 kids altogether. And she wouldn't have nothing to do with her adult daughter either.
Okay, let's see. This is Tom Meadows has been troubled. According to Tom, the source, the problems was Young's friendship with that Tammy girl.
Yeah.
Who he referred to as a devastating influence on the family.
Neighbors found
her husband was Air Force. That's why she was living with them, because he was deployed.
No, they were getting divorced. He deployed, but he was fixing, when he got back from deployment, he was going to get out of the Air Force, and they were getting a divorce.
Okay,
so they split up. That's why she was living with them.
Yeah, the article I'm reading doesn't say nothing about the divorce. Not Tammy's divorce anyway.
Right. I'm referencing on my video, I'm referencing 4 different articles about it, and none of them, you talked about something in there, and I forget what it was, but it didn't mention anything about what you were saying in the 4 that I read.
Yeah, I'm just reading straight from the thing. It says after he was deployed to the Air Force, she moved into the Meadows home for what was supposed to be only a few weeks, but wound up staying for months. A few weeks prior to Lucy's disappearance, Tom began eviction proceedings against her. He said
Yeah,
neighbors would have Lucy wandering around outside alone and crying, and that Young had been gone, leaving Lucy's 11-year-old brother home alone for extended periods of time.
yeah. The neighbors had when the neighbors found the baby out wandering around in the streets crying, they had to go and beat on the door to wake up Tammy to get her to come and get the baby.
Yeah, she's given quite a few inconsistent statements.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why this case just really grabbed hold of me,
Kind of
even
reminds
though
me
it's
of the Walsh case.
the Walsh case.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Adam Walsh.
Mm-hmm. Because wasn't it you that said that now they're coming out saying that he was never at the mall?
Yeah. Well,
Which is weird.
I don't know if he was never at the mall, but I know that supposedly the amputated head that they found, the picture that they show has a protruding front tooth from the mouth, and pictures that were taken of Adam 2 days prior to him disappearing, he had lost both of his front teeth.
Yeah. I remember them saying one was knocked out when he was playing baseball and the other one just fell out.
Right. So he had no front teeth. So tell me how the skull that they found that had a protruding front tooth could have been him.
Could have been the bottom tooth?
No, this was the top tooth. Trust me.
I
The
don't know. I
body
know I
was
lived in Florida at the time when he went missing.
the head was so decayed that all the other teeth were gone out of the mouth except for that one tooth.
Matter of fact, when he went missing from the Hollywood Mall, I lived less than 10 minutes from.
And then of course you have that dude that came out that's saying that he is Adam and that he had been trafficked here and there and abused and so much crazy stuff happened to him as he was growing up that caused him to he lives as and I apologize if I've got this wrong, but he lives as a woman, but he accepts that he is a man.
So he's just
But
transgender.
no, he doesn't want to be. But that's just how he was raised, so that's what he continues to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, Oakley. Oh, girl was so cute. Oh.
But yeah, his sister or John Walsh's daughter is the one that, I guess he contacted her and she brought that story to light, and along with everything else that she's saying, which she's making the claim that John did something himself to Adam, like as in selling. I don't know, discovering if teeth grow after death or not.
I know hair and nails do. I don't know about teeth.
But
But
you would think if all the rest of them fell out, that one would have fell out too. I don't
teeth
know.
never decay though. So I mean, not what after death. That's how they get a lot of the DNA still. When they have to
So
exhume a body.
what's new on the Summer Wells front? Does anybody know?
Don't ask me.
Why not?
Because I don't know if it's coming or going or what the hell's going on right now.
Well, don't you find it surprising? Well, you probably don't, but you find it surprising that because Margie comes out, there half the people on YouTube now is Don Wells is such a wonderful person.
No, not
You don't find that
surprised.
amazing?
They A lot of creators blow with the way the wind goes. They literally blow with the wind.
I appreciate that, Stitching. So you haven't talked to Don in the last little while?
No, he has not responded at all. Then somebody said that his Facebook got hacked, but then he posted a picture of him, Candace, and Chasen the other day.
That's been about a week
No,
or so
he
ago.
reposted it. Like he made it his background picture, I think.
And well, when he made his new Facebook page, that was the profile picture. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the cover picture now. The one that he has on his profile picture is that sunset or whatever. Whatever when I was talking to him, and I don't even remember. Like he hasn't responded, so
Stitching, what did he say last night? Anything new?
irritated.
Or the same old bull crap?
I had to hold my composure against some things that I want to say to some people.
Okay, well, why don't you just say it to me? We'll pretend like you're talking to me, and anybody that it might affect or might touch can just, take it. Say it to me, act like you're talking to me, but we know who you're talking to, really. Go ahead.
Not while I'm sick. Not a good idea. Really not a good idea, honestly.
Why?
Because I'm not feeling good and I just don't want things to come out wrong.
You're saying them to me. How could they come out wrong?
I don't want to be hateful on YouTube.
What?
I don't want to be hateful on YouTube.
Why not?
Because I'm not like all these other idiotic creators out here that will just continuously be assholes to one another. Like, I mean, I'm not going to be an asshole to people. I just don't like the way they flip flop. Like, it's crazy. It's pointless. Like, 1 minute oh, they're good people and they didn't do nothing wrong. And then as soon as something else, the narrative changes. Oh, well, I knew they were doing this and I knew they were doing that to these kids. And it's just bullshit. And now they're all best friends again. What the actual
blankety blank 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 blank.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like one in particular, I have known since day one. I used to go on her panel all the time and talk to her.
Aren't you a whale supporter?
Fuck yeah.
No, I'm saying, isn't that what she'd say?
Yeah, that's exact. She'd be like, this is Dipey and she is a whale supporter. Now, bitch, where you at? Because what are you doing? But the only difference is I've been there since day one on their side and never flipped.
Discovering
it's not really their side. I'm just innocent until proven guilty. If anything comes out guilty on them, so be it. If nothing comes out guilty on them, so be it. I'm either way right now. That's period. I'm just until something is literally proven on paper that something is guilty.
Okay, Stitching says just talked about life, and his daughter said she's scared her husband will find out that she came out. Huh.
Because he didn't want her involved in any of this YouTube shit. And I don't blame him. Because especially the way people go real life on people from this place. Like, that's crazy. Because now she just put her husband and her kids in jeopardy.
Hell, she didn't tell him who she was. I mean, who they were.
But it's not hard to find out for these idiots on here.
Well, I think in my opinion, it's not my family. It's not my nightmare that's going on. But in my opinion, had she and her brother and all these other people that are claiming that they love and support Dawn and Candace had came out in the beginning to start with and said, hey, this is a good man, this is a good woman, they love their kids, they do this with them, they do that with them, they whatever, it would have stopped most of the damn shit that was on YouTube in the first place.
Agreed. Maybe everybody's gonna try to fit the narrative to they're gonna switch it to fit their narrative, are they not?
Right.
They're
Stitching,
they're gonna
I
say
know you
whatever
can.
they can to bring in their clicks, their views, and their money.
Stitching, I know that you support the whales like Dipey. I
Thank you,
know that.
Stitchin. By
And
the way.
Discovering supports justice no matter which way it flies. So it's not like I'm a horrible person who have, you
No,
know,
no.
I have lots of you whales supporters as friends, and we are still friends.
Trust me and Nana argue daily over Summer's case. We do. We really do. We argue daily over Summer's case. With
Yes,
the
we do.
exception of today, because I just don't have it into me to argue with anybody.
After I promised everybody it was going to be a big blow up day, actually, I thought you were going to have more energy so we could have went at it about the Maddie thing.
I would have if I got caught in that rain yesterday, and that crap just really screwed me up. Whew, trust me, I was hoping I was gonna have more energy too. I laid down for a little bit and I woke up and it said like 12:46 or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh crap. I was like, just a
Well,
few more minutes.
Emily, I have my own opinions. I don't know what may have happened to Summer, but I do believe that Don was doing something to her and he was trying to keep CPS from finding out. As far as Candace, it's up in the air. I don't know if she knew before it happened or found out after it happened. But I believe that Dawn was the base of what may have happened, whether she was sent somewhere else to live with somebody else or whatever. And I do believe they could have been better parents as far as keeping house, keeping outside safe, that kind of stuff.
Um,
What are you growling for, Stitching?
no. I was stitching. I'm talking about creators flipping, honey. And yes, I do know some subs do flip. I understand they flip with the way they're the person that they're watching flips. I
Well,
understand that,
and
but I'm not
it
saying everybody. I'm just saying a lot of the most of the creators is who I'm talking about.
there are some people who could honestly just catch an idea or realize something and change their mind and their attitude about it. It's not like everybody is flipped with the way the wind blows. Some people actually change their mind and the way they see things because more information has come out. Now, we can't discredit those people.
Okay, so this is what I've always said about what about Don. Like, he is a narcissist. We do know this. His depending on who he's talking to is what he changes his attitude with, right? I do believe there was a lot of emotional and verbal abuse. I really do. Maybe some physical towards Candace. I really do not believe there was physical or SA towards the kids at all, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. And everybody's going to probably say, oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. No, I just don't believe that there was any.
Right. Stitching says, Dippy, I love Nana and we are still all friends, but I do get hurt for Dawn and Candace. I still get hurt for Candace. I'll say that. I do, not
And then the
Dawn.
other night, my mods heard me crying. They heard me just so upset with what was going on here lately on YouTube. I don't even know why I was crying, but I was literally in tears because that's how upset I was. I'm like, they are going back to the same people that when their backs were turned, like when Don got put away, they all went after Candace hard. All of them. as soon as Dawn gets out, they changed.
I told you my thoughts on that. Maybe it's all of them are trying to follow in PG's footsteps. Maybe they've got a crush on Dawn. Maybe they think they can lure
Let's not
Dawn.
go there again, please. You had me laughing earlier and that killed me.
Maybe they think they can lure their Dawn away from Candace.
Give me a break.
Well, you ask for an excuse why people flip. That's as good an excuse as any other. Don't you think? Lord of mercy, I wish she would take this crap serious and stay on panel. I don't know, guys. In my opinion, the parents could have done a whole lot more, could have done a whole lot better. All I know is they need to help find their baby. And whatever that takes, that's what it takes. Just like with the Madeleine McCann's parents, if it takes giving DNA for the next 50 years to people who they do not know or have never met, then that's what they need to do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they flip for views too. That's true.
Well, all I know is with that being said, with the view thing, at least I am consistent. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for the money. I couldn't anyway, even if I tried. I don't do it for the views or the subs because I'm still under 500 2 years later.
How are they going after the weak link? You think Dawn's the weak link?
You know, and that could be a good possibility, though, you know, Nana, because for one reason. What? Think about it. When they were going after Candace, she just went offline. She stopped talking, right?
Yeah.
Dawn keeps going and going and going. So they feel like he's the weak link because maybe if they keep putting pressure on him, that maybe he'll eventually say something, but we don't know.
Well, the thing about Candace was Candace had help. She had a support system while Dawn was in jail. She had somebody that actually was looking out for her best interest. She had a true friend who helped her stay offline, who helped her deal with reality day in and day out of everything that was going on.
In reality, though, I don't believe it would have happened if Benny didn't do what he did.
What do you mean?
If Benny would have never flipped on Candace when he did and how he did it, I don't believe she'd have stayed off YouTube. Because I believe he's a big reason of why things happen the way they happened.
Okay.
I was a mod for him, so there's a lot of things I know and there's a lot of things I don't know.
Well, let's not discuss.
Oh, and I'm not. That I would never do. But what I'm saying is, I believe that if he would have never flipped on her, that things would have went differently while Dawn was locked up. It wouldn't have been so bad. But, you know, he's got a lot of gnats that follow him. So,
right. It matters. This is what It Matters says. This is why I know that this channel will grow. This case has changed the world, and all sides need to be heard and looked at. These ladies agree to disagree, but always fair and open-minded. We greatly appreciate that, but it's actually just this podcast because I have a channel, she has a channel, and we flip-flop the podcast each week. So don't forget to go over and sub up to That Crime with Dipey. As soon as, you know, well, go ahead, Dipey, drop your link if you can.
they're not Maisie. OG, if you're still here, please do that. I forgot I didn't work with Maisie knows how to do everything but drop links. So I've got to work with her on that one. Because usually OG handles the link drops in my chat.
Well, we love all of you too. It matters. Thank you very much.
And you know I love your face to pieces, Miss Pam.
At this point, do y'all think anyone will be charged? No evidence, right? So this will just be a cold case. More than likely, it's going to wind up being just like Lucy Meadows' case. You're right. Unfortunately.
Yep. I'm sorry. I felt like it was a cold case after last year when they didn't come out with no, nothing. If you think about it, and
Well,
even Anna said this over and over again, that no matter how many times they do a press conference, it's always the same thing in a different context. But exactly. It's always the same thing.
The same words, just worded differently, put in different orders. It's the same script that Leslie used on the 16th. But technically, if you look up, and I know there's different websites say different things, but if you look up what a cold case is, it is a case that has not had any new evidence or leads or tips in over a year. Well, guess what? We haven't had any new evidence or anything since day one. That's what TVI keeps telling us.
Yep.
So
this case is out of the norm. I like how she says that. This case is out of the norm. Well, you guys are out of the norm for not updating, for not, just what gets me is they allow the circus to keep going. Why?
Well, you know what? She says that they found out something. Okay, it was a missing child at like 7:15, 7:30. At 11 o'clock that night, they turned it into an endangered child. At 11 o'clock the next morning, they changed it to an Amber Alert, which means that they believe that the child was in imminent danger or possible unaliving. Okay, the main thing in there to turn it into an Amber Alert should be the description of a vehicle she could have been took in, or the description of a person who could have took her.
And they don't have either one of those.
They had neither one of those. So tell me what information it was they could have gotten that night and into the next morning that could have made them think that this child was in imminent danger or possible unaliving.
Well, think about this. They also, from the first beginning, they thought she wandered off into the woods, right?
Well, supposedly, yeah.
So if they feel like she wandered off in the woods within so many hours, they don't, especially overnight, being out there by yourself.
That would have been an endangered child. Yes.
Exactly.
But the next morning when they changed it to an Amber Alert, listen, as far as we know, and yes, I know they haven't told us diddly squat, but as far as we know, nobody new came forward and gave them any new information to make them turn it into an Amber Alert. I mean, the main thing about an Amber Alert is to tell the public what you know so that they can be on the lookout for whatever it is you're looking for. They didn't do that. So
we got a picture of a red truck, a maroon truck that we
that did not come out until the 26th or the 27th of June.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count. Okay. The 16th, the day after she went missing, is when the Amber Alert was put out. The only thing that they could have done was listen to the 911 calls, multiple calls, or spoke with the boys. That's the only two places they could have gotten information. That or Robin and David Dodson. So tell me, out of those three options, tell me what you think they could have found out that would have implied that baby was in danger. That's what I said, Stitching, is we don't know what they haven't put out there because they ain't told us nothing.
Well, in all retrospect, and this goes for me too, we aren't owed a damn thing on this case. Because if you look at it, they're looking at us like we are really nobodies, because we have no attachment to this case other than our personal attachment to it.
Well, you all may not, but people who live in Tennessee, if the boys are in state's custody and it has anything to do with Summer being missing, technically, yes, I know I'm pushing it, okay, or reaching, should I say. But people who live in Tennessee who pay taxes here, who are supporting the boys right now, we deserve answers.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but you deserve it, but you're not entitled to it, is what I mean. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to give anybody anything, any kind of information other than the family members.
Yes, Amber Alert does go out with abduction with great harm potential. Yes, exactly.
But you have to meet a criteria for that to be put out.
Over the or under the age of 17. The description. Child, the description of the car or the person. TBI has to agree basically, and then there's something else. I can't remember what else it is. But the description part is the part that we're missing. There was no description of a car or a person that could have took her. And they have also came out and said they do not believe this was any kind of an abduction. So tell me where the Amber Alert falls. That means that they figured that child had to be in imminent danger. So what was she in imminent danger from? I mean, even the Lucy Meadows that I was talking about earlier, it's been 27 years. And from day one, that has been ruled as an endangered child, not an Amber Alert. And it stayed that way for 27 years.
Shit. They don't have to give the family any information, especially when they're still looking. Yeah, that's right, Discovery. But even though they said nobody's been cleared, they really haven't said who's a suspect either. They just said nobody's cleared.
Well,
it could be more of a person of interest than being a suspect too.
Well, like Pam says, but how can LE say that no possible abduction when they don't know what happened? Well, maybe they know and they're not telling us. Maybe that's the information they found out that first night that caused it to be turned into an Amber Alert.
I don't know. I think they put the Amber Alert out just to make it look like they're actually fucking doing something. Which we know for a fact they ain't doing jack shit. I love when you say that.
What? But they couldn't be looking at the registered people because guess what? They've cleared all them. Supposedly.
Yeah, they said they got all the RSOs. They checked all of them out. Which I don't know how the hell they did that, because, there's Hawkins County, the Beach Creek community is like the dumping spot for the RSOs. Like they let them out of jail and they all flocked to Beach Creek.
Hold up, Discovering. There's no way that they could have put the Amber Alert out because of that. Because they put the Amber Alert out within 16 hours after she went missing. They put the Amber Alert out. There's no way that they spoke to each one of those registered people in that area in that amount of time.
No,
there's no way that they couldn't have cleared the woods in that amount of time, which they say they did now, and they found nothing. No bones, no clothes, no nothing. And if animals had got her, then they would have been bones, clothes, or something in the woods.
And not for nothing, though, by the time Ellie got there, because, it takes about 45 minutes for them to even get out to Candace and Don's house. So by the time they actually got out there and started the search and got all the search parties together and all these other people to come in, Summer could have been well out of Tennessee.
if
I'm just saying.
somebody took her.
Hello, old
Unfiltered.
man. How are you doing? Welcome in
Who?
Unfiltered Reality. That's old man.
Okay.
It's Matter's husband.
We know it. They put it out the next 11 o'clock the next morning. That's the point.
It was
There's no way that they could have cleared pretty much anything except that she wasn't on the property or in the house by that time.
very, very true. She can just be missing and not endangered, but they're saying endangered because she's not. They don't know where she's at. They don't know who she's with or what she's with or. Oh God, this case gives me
Oh,
migraine.
hold up, Pam. I'm calling you Pam because I don't know. Anyways, Pamelot, I guess is how it's pronounced. Anyways, you're saying that Ellie was pressured by the public to put the Amber Alert out. I can't believe that, because if that was true,
It would have been put out.
in the past almost 2 years, they'd have been pressured to actually do something, because the public, the whole entire world, well, not the entire world, but at least half the world, has been pressuring them to do something, and they ain't done nothing.
I thought he got arrested after Summer went missing.
No, he was arrested in early part of May, if I remember right, and released, and then he had to go to court over what he got arrested for. He supposedly had an ankle bracelet on when Summer
Oh,
went
so he
missing.
bonded out.
But what gets me is, though,
How do you bond out on that?
yeah, Sharfie Sr. was out of town when Summer went missing. Has anybody bothered using Sharfie Jr.'s phone to find out where his actual location, or the tracking bracelet to find out where he was at when Summer went missing?
Hold up. He lost. I remember seeing a post from him. He lost his phone and needed all his contacts back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So how convenient was that? Like, Sharfie Jr. is like one of my top 5. I feel like he's a little bit. If anything happened to Summer, he's one of the ones I believe had something to do with it. Hello, Wisconsin Mama.
Wisconsin Mama, the scent of Summer could have been from a month before that, honey.
Yeah.
I don't see how they figured the dogs that scent down the trail and all that bull crap that Dawn speaks about all the time and rants and raves about. The child lived there. She was all over that property. I'm sure she followed her brothers down that trail more than once.
All right. So what are your thoughts on Dawn and Candace making arrangements with outsiders to take Summer before neglect charges could be pressed on them? Matter of fact, while he's speaking, remember the picture we were talking about with the lady behind him with the purple shirt, right?
Right.
He was the one that brought it to my attention.
Okay. I myself think that they need to check into a few different people to see if Summer is located at those places.
Agreed.
And it would still make Dawn and Candace guilty.
What's wrong, Eva?
Oh, are you the one that they're claiming photoshopped that picture? Do you know?
Yep.
I thought they were accusing me of it, but that's okay. Did you know Candace beforehand, before Summer went missing?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I was waiting for him to answer. I know he didn't know her. I'm just asking. As a sarcastic question. Because if he knew Candace, he would have had to have known Candace before Summer went missing to have photoshopped that picture. Simply because Candace used that picture as one of the ones she posted on TikTok when she was saying, "Oh, Mommy and Daddy loves you so much, and we're not going to stop looking until we find you." That's how I figured out that the picture was taken before she went missing.
He goes, "Really? No."
I knew the answer to that. I knew that the photo was not photoshopped.
I love him.
But somebody had asked me, and I thought they were accusing me of photoshopping it. And I said something to them, and they're like, no, 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 no. Didn't mean that.
I don't know. But so
Who do you want me to tell, Unfiltered?
all the other crazy creators.
If we can believe the 15-year-old boy that said that Dawn called Candace while they were at Walgreens, it was approximately 11:15 on the 15th when Dawn supposedly called.
Because she said he was just calling to check in because he did it regularly. He's saying, but I want to know how he knew what Dawn was saying on the phone, unless he was like all up in her ear.
No, because if you have the volume turned up, shoot, I can sit in here and be on the phone, and my son can hear what's being said in the living room.
Because you got me on
Depending on
speaker.
No. I'm talking about when I don't have it on speaker. But if you got the volume turned all the way up, if you can't hear good, whatever. Hello, cursed with curiosity. No matter actually got it off the Prairie Boys. He did Summer Wells. Yeah, Stairs Old Man. Yeah, that was something else I was gonna say. What time was Don? Oh, and Dawn comes back in another interview, guys, and says that that phone call was made at about 3 o'clock. Chris McDonough swears up and down that the phone call was made about 1 o'clock or 1:30. I would love to find out what time that actual phone call was made. Right, that's what he said, or that's what Candace and the boy says, is that it was while they were in line at Walgreens. Chris McDonough, when he's doing the interview with Candace, says that they were at Walgreens about 1:20. Dawn, in an interview, I don't know if it was Chris McDonough or who, but I believe it was, says that it was like at 3 o'clock that the phone call was made. But I don't get that, because at 3:09 is when that milk jug picture was supposedly took, and they were on their way home. But that's when he says that I would love to know who was with him at work that day. They decided to stay at work and work until dark because Candace and them were going to be at the swimming hole. Now, Candace was on her way home. What made him think they were swimming? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just taking in what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I've done a video on all that. And I gave the timeline from the time they left the house to when they got to Ellie's, to the hospital, to Walgreens, to Sonic, to the pond. And the time doesn't add up if you take into consideration what Chris McDonough and what Don Wells says.
You're right, it matters. A lot of things that CM said was debunked. That's why another creator that did a video yesterday even says it. She's like, a lot of the rumors going around were started by him, because of him, I should say.
Right, but the thing about it is you have to take into consideration that Hunter may have been lying too. But Candace says she doesn't disagree with Hunter about what time the phone call took place. She says it was while they were in line dropping off the prescription, which happened around 8 or 11 a.m. Now, why is Dawn coming in trying to say that the phone call was made at 3 o'clock that evening?
I don't know, but then Candace also says, she doesn't look at the time like that either. So, but if she was in line at Walgreens dropping off the prescription, I thought he called while she was picking up the prescription.
No, it was while they were dropping it off, remember? Because then they were going to take and go swimming while they waited on the prescription to be filled.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And when they called, because they were only there like 20, 30 minutes, and then they called and said it was ready.
Right. And they immediately went and got the slushies, I think, after that, and then took Hunter home, or went to the store and then went and took Hunter home.
Well, we don't know if she told lies to Don or what the real story is. I mean, as of right now, that's the only story we got. So we have to go with that because we cannot put together what really happened because we were not there.
Right. Guys, I want to make it, I'm going to interrupt the conversation right this second. I want to make an announcement. This is not the official announcement, but I'm going to give you guys a heads up. And I'm not positive of what the prize is going to be yet. I'm trying to work on it being a bigger prize, something worth fighting for. But I'm going to be doing a scavenger hunt. It's going to start on March the 1st, and it will run through May 30th. And you will have items, I think, twice a week to find. And then you will email them to me. We will verify, that this is a real thing. And at the end of the time limit, people who qualified to be put on the wheel, I will put on the spinny wheel, and we will spin it and find out who actually wins the grand prize. I hope everybody wants to jump in and play. I've talked with Dipey about it. I've talked with Discovering the Truth about it. They are both excited about playing. So.
Well, I'm not playing because I kind of help. So there's no reason for me to play.
Right, but the things that I've thought of, there's no way that you could get a jump on them. I mean, each question will be put, or each item will be put out, like I said, once a week. It will be in various places in one of my videos, and you will not know what video or what 2 videos per week that I'll put it in, or what area in the video it will be. Why Dawn says, I figured I'd work over because no one was home anyways. Did Candace make him believe the boys were with her, not at home alone? I've wondered about that myself too, hun. Or in the fact that he says, he don't say he says we decide to work over. Who was with him? He fired Dudley the day before. Do you have an answer, Dipey?
I'm sorry.
I said,
coughing.
do you have a clue who it was that supposedly was at work with Dawn that day? He says, we decided to work over.
Supposedly the boys were there with him.
At work?
Yes. Supposedly the boys were at work with him that day. That's why Candace didn't have them.
No, Candace plainly says she left the boys asleep at home.
Every interview I've seen, she said that the boys were with Donnie that morning.
No. Maisie, Mother Goose, will y'all please inform your friend?
Okay.
Candace said the boys were home cleaning up. They were in trouble. Wisconsin Mama says boys were at home. It Matters says, I thought they were at home cleaning up because they had gotten in trouble. I remember her saying the boys were with Dawn. Okay, well, I'm telling y'all, she says in many interviews, every interview, I believe, she says they were at home. Because remember, no one in, no one out. The doors were locked. And she says they were basically watching TV and sleeping at the same time. Yeah, okay, Maisie says, yeah, the boys were sleeping and way home TV at the same. Don did make comment he had one with him, however. Remember they said that there was a strange guy out there lurking around?
But see, that's what I don't understand because the phone service out there sucks. And I know that for a fact. My phone couldn't even get service while I was out there. The only phone service that really picks up in their area is an AT&T service. Verizon does not work out there whatsoever.
But if you're sitting there at the house, which had Wi-Fi, obviously, you can talk on your phone as long as you have data on, Wi-Fi on your phone. You can make a phone call. And besides that, how did Don and Candace talk the entire time on his way home, Facebook time each other, if they didn't have phone? Because she supposedly was driving up and down the road. Hello, M. Dijon. Stitching says, I've heard the boys were with Dawn. I've heard the boys, so we don't know where the boys were.
All we know is when she got home, they were there. So what if they were with Dawn early and Dawn brought them home? That's how he knows about the peeping Tom that was over there. And he called Candace to find out where she was. And she said she was going taking summer swimming. So he left the boys there figuring Candace wouldn't be that much longer. And he went back to work.
No, that's not true, because remember he said
I
they
just said,
weren't
what if? I said, what if? What if?
I'm just saying that he said that they weren't going to be there, and he didn't want to be home by himself, so he went back to work or stayed at work. Was going to stay late because nobody was going to be at home.
Yeah, she used her mom's phone to call him on the phone, not Messenger.
Well,
She said
I know,
Messenger worked. She said, but while he was driving home, while he was at work, Messenger didn't work over there.
Okay,
Or
but
something like
Dawn says that he talked with Candace on Messenger the entire way home. He saw her driving up and down the roads in her mother's truck looking for Summer. But now he also said that the reason he was driving 80 miles an hour back home and got there so quick was because he hadn't heard nothing from nobody and didn't know if Summer had been found or not. Said that both in two different interviews, guys.
I don't know no more. Like I said, this case gives me a migraine. I swear to you, this case mentally, physically, and emotionally drains me.
You think? She's not the only one that's told different stories. Go ahead.
Every story is different. Every story. If you like from down to the person to Ellie, like every story is different.
Yeah, Ronnie Lawson can't even tell the same story twice. Come on.
I'm not even going there with that man right now. I want to know why nobody will run against that man. Why will nobody take his spot?
Same reason they didn't run against his daddy for 20 years.
Isn't it 13 years now he's been there?
Mm-mm. No, he's been in there 20 years. Just like his daddy.
No, I mean, he's been sheriff for 12 years, 13 years. Not law enforcement, period, but.
He's been law enforcement since 76. He's been sheriff for 20 years.
I thought he went in 78.
No. Okay. And his daddy was sheriff for 20 years, died in the office. The guy that took his place was only in there for half a term, and they say he unalived himself halfway through the term, and Ronnie Lawson stepped into the position and has been there ever since.
He has said a lot of conflicting statements that his handlers would never question him on.
What?
Unfiltered Reality said he has said a lot of conflicting statements that his handlers would never question him on. I guess he's talking about Ronnie Lawson.
Hello, Little Wing.
Hello, Little Wing. Why do we not hear from Candace, the one who was there? Why is Don running the narrative of the story?
Can I answer that, please, real quick, or you can give your
Go
opinion?
right ahead, because I'm not.
Okay, I don't know why he's doing it, but if y'all will notice, Don stepped up and took over the narrative of the whole story until the day he got locked up. When he got locked up, he kept saying that Candace was scared. Candace was shy. Candace was this, that, and the other. When he got locked up, Candace finally started coming out and talking, and she didn't seem too scared, shy, or whatever to me. Now, yes, she did go dark, but like I said, it was because the person that was trying to help her out was trying to keep her off of YouTube. But the minute that Dawn got out of jail and came back on YouTube, the whole thing started all over again. Candace is too scared to talk. She's just overwhelmed. No, it's because Don wants to have control of Candace, and he wants to control the narrative, just like you said. Ugh.
Discovering you're probably right on that. I know there's a lot of his family that's been law enforcement. It could be a good possibility because I know Ronnie Lawson's family, a lot of them are in there. And I agree with you there. His handlers were the YouTube creators controlling the narrative for their benefit. We know that's true. We definitely know that's true.
M. Dijon, it's because when she supposedly was out, before the LE was called, before 911 was called, she was supposedly in her mom's truck running up and down the roads. Remember, Ronnie Lawson said they were looking for the child a while before they ever called 911. And she was up running down the roads looking for Summer in her mom's truck, and the whole time supposedly on the phone with Dawn. And then they called 911.
Oh, Lord, I gotta plug my phone up. Hold on.
And 20 months later, she's coming out and saying all the things that she should have said back then. I agree.
Give me a few.
She should have told Dawn Wells where to go, and she should have stepped up and said everything herself to begin with. And if he didn't like it, he could have hit the road. That's true, Suzette. Maybe she is getting sober now.
From what I understand, they both are.
I started watching it last night, but then somebody called me. I forget who. Oh, maybe it was Tina.
Are you talking about on Daisy's?
Yes. Hawkins County is Lawson territory, just like Alex Murdaugh family and their town in South Carolina. True.
Yep. Very true.
I have all interviews with Dawn uncut that I have reported on that can be seen per request on my wife's channel. It matters.
I'm still waiting for something that she was supposed to send me a couple of days ago.
Okay, I want one unfiltered if you can find it for me and send me a link for it or something. Just tell me, or if nothing else, just tell me the title of it. The one where he is being interviewed, I was thinking it was when the second interview he did, the first one Candace did, on the 28th of July, when they're sitting by their house. I think it's that one. But he says, somebody asks him, what would you like to see happen to the person who did this to your daughter?
Yeah, that is the one you're thinking of.
He's like him hawing around, and he says, well, I don't know. And they said, well, wouldn't you want to see him go to prison or something like that? And he's like, well, I don't know. I can't say that because I know what happens to people when they go, get locked up for that kind of stuff, meaning hurting a child. And he makes the statement, if it was me, I would unalive myself before I would go back to or go to prison over that. I'm misquoting that, but basically it's what it says. I want that interview. and I cannot find it. Yes, Maisie, it is absolutely wonderful that they're getting sober. Kudos to them for getting sober. He did not wish jail on them. Yeah. But he does make the statement, I would unalive myself before I would go to jail for something like that. And my point being is, when I first said that he moved his child, displaced his child, whatever, if he would be willing to unalive himself to keep from going to jail for harming a child like that, what else would he be willing to do to keep from going to jail over harming a child like that?
Cursed, the questions that CM asked him, I think he gave a bunch of BS answers to, because he never really wanted to do that interview anyway. That's why he dodged it a couple times before he actually did it.
Well, I don't understand. That's what you're being criticized or attacked for. What? Asking what Don actually said himself so that we know what came out of his own mouth?
No, I mean with CM. He didn't want to do the interview with CM, so he kept.
No. I'm talking about unfiltered reality. Said that is no problem, but be warned. This is what I have been attacked and slandered. That's why my business is privatized.
Yeah, he's been jumped on a lot over this case, and it's crazy how, some people can talk about it and then some people can't. Some certain people start talking about it, then they get like all these trolls jumping on them because they're talking about it. But yet we can go out there and talk about it all day long and nobody's saying nothing to us about it. Like, it doesn't make no sense.
I don't know.
Like, I've never, ever got said anything to about talking about Summer's case. And I've been talking about Summer's case since I started my channel.
No, their timeline doesn't make sense.
Or
because
since it started anyway. Sorry.
Right. I agree, Dipey. The timeline, it's
Good luck,
it don't
Stephanie.
make sense because there is time that is missing in there. Now, I agree that if your child comes up missing, you're going to go out here and look and see if you can't find the child before you think call 911. Because what if you call 911, my child is missing, and then you walk out in the yard and look and they're in a building somewhere, or they're standing behind the building. So that would be stupid to call 911 immediately before you look yourself.
I agree with you.
But before I go racing down the damn road in a truck, supposedly looking for my child, I do believe I would have picked up the phone and called 911. But evidently, that is not what they did.
Like I said before, the only reason why I would think she would do that is because they did not stay in the yard. She knows they wandered off frequently.
Yeah, but she ain't gonna drive all the way to the head of Ben Hill.
Well, I mean,
Summer's not gonna walk all the way up there.
Well, from Ben Hill to Beach Creek, it isn't that far. Like, from her driveway to Beach Creek Road is not that far.
No. The head.
Oh, you mean where Beach Creek starts? Gotcha.
Right, the head of Beach Creek. She drove all the way to the head of Beach Creek, came back down, went out on the head of Ben Hill, came back down, turned on Beach Creek, went all the way down to the church, turned around and came back. That's what she says.
Me too, Stitch, and I'm a baby channel, and I've been on here 2 years. But yeah, I mean, I have got involved with some people that I learned my lesson really quick on, and I now do not have anything to do with them. They are problematic channels, and I just don't choose to be around them. But I did learn a lot from being on certain channels with this case. And and I've said that from day one, like since her 1 year mark being missing. If you haven't learned anything from this case, then you're not really you're not really in it with your whole heart, because there is so much you learn from this case because of the way it's been going.
That's true, discovering, because she doesn't actually say Ben Hill, does she? She just says, I drove all the way up the holler. Discovering says there's a lot of hollers around there. No telling which one exactly.
Yep. Each little holler has like 3 roads to it. So,
But
and
it would
there's
make
a lot.
absolutely no sense for her to drive completely off the property, away from the property, to look for a
No.
5-year-old.
I would probably go up to the beginning of Ben Hill, but I wouldn't probably go no further than that.
Okay, cursed with curiosity. She had Summer in that darn truck with her. That's why the scent stopped at the end of the driveway. Research how dog scent works. Well, that's not necessarily true, hon, because that baby lived up there and run down that driveway all the time, from what we've been told. She was all over that property.
But
That
the dog.
scent.
Go ahead,
Have
sorry.
any of us looked outside the box? Yes, Stitching, I have.
First off,
Several
the dog
ways.
scent went down the dog path. Her scent went down the dog path. That's where it stopped, at the creek by the road.
But Dave Rader says it went down the driveway.
That might be another scent. But one of the main one went down the right there by her swing.
Right, and
path.
that's where the boys used to run down that trail, and she would follow them, and that came out of Don's mouth as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it may have not have even been that day, or it could have been that day.
I don't think CM could have Dijon, because I think he is. Oh, I hate that man. Sorry,
We're not big CM supporters over here.
Not at all. Like, that man has made this case into what it is today, the biggest circus in the United States history.
Summer ran everywhere, absolutely. So why would her scent only be on the driveway? Exactly. Or on that dog trail.
And if, if she goes through that water and ends up in a car, then that would be explained why her scent is no longer on the road, or on the road at all. Because once you hit that water, the dog loses the scent.
There's no water between the dog trail and the road.
Yeah, there is. There's a little creek right there.
No.
Yeah.
No, man, not right there.
You're thinking of the bus trail. The bus trail goes right out to Beach Creek. The one trail, that the dog trail by the swing, goes out to Ben Hill Road, and there's a creek.
No dog trail by the swing.
Oh
my gosh! I will pull the video up and show it to you. I'll send it to you in email. I promise you. The way that Dawn goes down, and the way that Cam goes down the dog trail carrying that bag of dog food or whatever it was, he goes right off behind the school bus.
Yeah, that's the school bus trail, not the dog trail.
The dog trail.
There's 2 trails. There's one by the bus, and then there was one right out, like from the swing. You can see it. I promise you.
You show me a video. Because I'll show you the video where they say,
if I can get my phone to power up, the one that don't power up, if I can get it to power up, I'll show you the video, because that's the one I took the video on when I was down there.
Okay, hold up. We entertained all theories involving church workers, on power line workers, mineral right land grabs, Ronnie Lawson's family, even Don's past and his sister's accusations, and the shed at the bottom.
Yep, that is for truth. We look at everything, not just one thing.
Unfiltered says there was a trail beside the bus. I'm telling y'all, that's the one he's talking about, though.
Yeah, there's 2. There was more than 2 trails, actually, but the 2 trails the dogs went down. One was down the bus trail, and then there was another one that went straight down to the creek by Ben Hill. Not Beach Creek, but by Ben Hill.
I will find it. I've done a video on it using the clip from it. Dawn takes the news reporter down the dog trail, showing her what the dog trail was like. And it's behind the bus, and he goes all the way to the road, and there's no creek. And I will find it.
Yeah,
And
that's the one that goes to Beach Creek, not Ben Hill.
No, it's the one that comes out right there below the driveway, because he walks right up back up to the driveway. I promise you, I'll get it and I'll send it to you. And he says this is the dog trail that she came down, or where the dogs came down. Where the scent came down. I promise. I'll see.
I don't know which trail I seen when I was over there, because that was the one that I was going to walk up, because then people were sitting in the driveway, and then I decided not to. And I took a video of it, and they were like, "Oh, you can't take video. You can't take pictures. It's against the law." And I was like, "I don't know what country you're from, but here in the United States, it's not against the law to take pictures of trees."
Right. Okay, Unfiltered says that trail starts just to the left of the back door of the basement, goes down right behind where the camper was at, and leads out at the bus trail. Huh?
The camper was nowhere near the back door. That was in the driveway. That didn't make no sense.
Anyways, all right. I agree, but there's an alcohol-fueled circus, and to be honest, I don't drink at all, but my son goes missing, and I'd be so lost, I'd probably turn to alcohol, right? I agree 100%. I probably would too. But I do drink every now and then, so. But the fact is, they didn't turn to alcohol because their daughter was missing. They were already drinking alcohol before the baby went missing. But come on, if we can even trust what Don Wells said, the cop gave Candace alcohol that night to try to calm her down. She needed alcohol.
I feel like crap. Yeah, where the camper was, Griff, was the right there at the top of the driveway. Yeah, to me, the basement door is in the front of the house, but I always say the back because that's where I think of the basement being.
The basement door is not in front of the house. The basement door is at the back of the house.
But if you're coming up the driveway, that would be, normally you'd be looking at the front of the house. The front of the house is on the side, though.
Hey, Miss Cristola.
Eva, stop.
The driveway circled around the house. Yeah, it did circle around the house. And it depends on which direction you turn when it splits and when you get to the house. If you go to the left, then the first door you come to would be the kitchen door, which in fact would make that the front of the house.
Yeah, but
that's the kitchen door.
When you're coming up the driveway, but see, when you're coming up the driveway, the first door you see before you see the one that they always go in would be the basement door. When you first go up the driveway,
that's only if you split off that way. If you go to the right when you get up there so far, if you go to the right, the basement door would be the first one. But if you go to the left, the kitchen door would be the first one you see. The split happens before you ever get to the house.
It is a very big mess, and Dijon. It makes me want to pull my hair out. It really does.
Oh, guys, we got about 6 more minutes.
It's kind of crazy to invest your whole entire being into a case and it be nothing but a bunch of lies and theories and speculations and no credible information.
Right.
Like, we can argue all day long over what was said, what was done, but we don't really know because none of us were there. We can listen to what the people, even Candace and Don, say, but it doesn't mean it's truthful. Like, I believe a lot of stuff that Don said while he was drunk on them panels was a bunch of BS. I believe he said a lot of that stuff just because he knows that's what they were wanting to hear.
Or it's possible that he said all that stuff because it's true. So are you wanting to call him a liar?
No, I'm just saying I think he misled them. Like, he did what he thought.
That's,
Really,
honey, it don't matter what label you put on it. Either he lied or he didn't. Now, if you choose to believe that Don Wells is a liar, that's up to you.
No, I'm not. Don't do that. No, I'm not saying he's truthful, and I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying a lot of shit he said was BS. I feel like it's BS. In my opinion, it was BS. Like, I feel like he did that because he knew what the creators were looking for. What the creators
Which would
were.
mean that he was lying.
He was
which would make him a liar.
I never said he wasn't a liar. I said he's a narcissist. I mean, come on now. Doesn't that go with a liar?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Without saying people are lying, you can decorate it a little bit.
Okay.
No, honestly, though, I did. Personally, I don't think that had anything to do with what happened this summer. Personally, in my opinion, they had nothing to do with what happened this summer. But the guilty knowledge that they both have is probably because they know the person or people that had something to do with it, and they just can't put two and two together. Or
bullshit.
It could be the other way. It could be the other way.
Hold up.
It could be the other way. They know everything about it, and they're just not saying nothing. I just don't think
that's bullcrap. If they have some kind of guilty knowledge of who they think it might be, and they haven't come forward and told the cops that this is a possibility or this is what they might think, then they're pieces of shit parents, plain and simple.
Well, we never said they were parents of the year, damn it. Hell, I'm not even parent of the year.
If they're keeping information that they possibly might know from the cops, that means they are accomplices to whatever happened.
Yes, ma'am.
I get passionate. I'm sorry. It's just there. You can defend them. I understand that's your position and that's your right and how you feel about it. But you can't defend them by saying, one, he's a liar, and two, they have guilty knowledge of where this child is at, but they're innocent because they didn't technically do it. It don't matter if they technically did it. If they have a clue what's going on, their asses should be down there to the damn sheriff's department, TBI office, FBI office, turning every bit of it in. And if that means their ass gets arrested, then bye-bye.
Like I said, I am always innocent until proven guilty. When they get convicted of a crime to something to do with Summer or their boys, then I will publicly apologize. But until then, I am, regardless if they lied, regardless if they told the truth, until they get arrested for something and convicted of it, then that's when my beliefs will change.
Christella says, I'm on the fence. My opinion changes almost daily. So 2 different opinions, talking civilly like this is awesome. Well, of course, Christella, thank you, sweet pea. I love you. I miss you, hon. Discovering says that makes them just as guilty according to the law. It's accessory after the fact.
Yes, Discovery, you are absolutely correct on that. Yes, I'm with you with that. They would be accessory after the fact, but then I would go back to they got in trouble for it. Christelle asked, because before we even started this podcast, we have made this thing to agree to disagree, but our friendship will never be affected by it.
I think he knew what he was doing. I agree. Dippy might be telling the exact fact of what happened. He may have chose to tell these people all this bullcrap. But that means that he is a liar and is willing to do anything.
Or,
if you lie, you'll do
wait a
anything.
minute, no. What if law told him not to divulge information, so he had to come up with things to say to these people just because they were constantly.
If the law told him not to say anything, then why the shit didn't he just stay off YouTube? Or he could have said, hey, the law told me not to say what I know.
Because he's an attention whore. He likes the attention, no matter if it's negative or positive. He's not used to getting the attention that he's getting now. I'm just saying, that's my opinion, my opinion only. I don't know. I really don't.
Hello, Jenny. I'm glad I caught you live. My notifications didn't go off. I'm so sorry, hon. I put it out for notification yesterday morning, and I put it on the community tab today to remind everybody, or last night one. I can't remember which.
And that's your opinion, MD John. I mean, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a speculation. Everybody has a theory on this case. And going back to, we don't know jack crap.
We
know what they want us to know, period. That's it. They tell us what they want us to know, whether it's truthful or not.
You agree with my opinion and my opinion only, but who are you talking about?
Huh?
Discovering says, I agree with your opinion and your opinion only, LOL. But whose opinion?
They were involved. Everybody's involved. I'm involved, and I don't even know this little girl. We're all involved. One way or another, we are involved.
I set my notifications last night, but a lot of people saying they're having trouble with it too. Next time I'll set my alarm on my phone. Okay.
Discovery.
Guys,
I think she meant to say me. She said
Duffy at the moment. Duffy. Okay.
I've been called everything. I'm telling you.
We have the podcast every Sunday at 1:00, guys. Every Sunday at 1:00.
As of right now, we're just flip-flopping between our two channels. Eventually, if it takes off and people really like it, we might open our own channel for it.
Right. Discovering says, Dipey, damn it, spell check, LOL. But the thing about it is it's spelled with an E in there, Discovering. And when I try to do it, my spell check calls are Dopey.
That's okay, because that was originally my nickname. My nickname has always been Dopey since kindergarten. It's just too many people run around with that nickname now. And I was like, you know what? I've got to have something that resembles Dopey. So Dipey. And I was a little bit intoxicated, let's say, when I made my name and added the E instead of the extra P.
Yeah.
That's how it got Dipey. I got to be different. I can't be the same. I have to be my own person. So
MD John says, correction. I believe they were involved. Tech don't like me and it's always picking on me. Jenny, yeah, I never get notified. Nana was supposed to text me, but she didn't. Shame, Nana. I was supposed to text you when I went live. I didn't know you meant when the podcast went live.
I think I found Christola on Facebook the other day when I was scrolling through the people you may know. Don't worry, Discovery. Maisie's phone is the same way. This woman, you have to decipher what she says because of her phone. Trust me. It'll take me 10 minutes to answer one text from Maisie because I have to sit there and put together what she's trying to say. Christola, try just unsub and then resub again and make sure the notification bell is hit to all. and then it should start doing it.
And go into your settings on your actual phone and make sure the notifications for YouTube is set on there too.
All right, Christola, if I can find it again.
D, I'll have to charge my phone. What time did you say your podcast or your live is?
She said at 2:30, but we're at 3:00, so.
Yeah, but she's like an hour behind us or something.
All right, so then 30 minutes.
All right, guys. Well, it's been 2 hours and 5 minutes, so I greatly appreciate you guys. Oh, not tonight at 9 o'clock. Okay, that'll work, sweetheart. That'll work.
Come on, dummy.
You changed your mind? Okay.
Oh, I thought I saw her 2:30 earlier. She said something about getting dressed.
Now, Discovery, you got me worried. Why do you call her a she? How do you know it's not a he? Says it's crazy because I'm a good speller, even though I shorthand a lot, but she's always correcting me with the wrong words. I agree. They did the damn same thing with me. Oh, because me, Cam, and Ellie are all live right now. Okay.
Yeah, they're live. They just went live actually like a couple minutes ago. I haven't been to one of their lives in a while. Well, we've had that talk about why I haven't been there.
Yeah.
But
Christella, that's fine, sweetheart. But now keep in mind, I'm considering doing just doing it for memberships, the scavenger hunt. I'm thinking about only allowing members to do that. So it'll help cut down on, who might qualify. But guys, if that happens, my membership is only $1.99. So, because most bitches don't like you, okay, I get you, and your phone don't like you, so it's got to be a bitch. I get it.
oh yeah, I agree.
Y'all are great together. I like people who have varying opinions and can still get along and discuss. Me too. I can't stand a yes man. I cannot. I can't stand having somebody on panel with me who agrees with everything I say. That's why I get so agitated when Dipey says, I agree with you.
No, that was hence why I said yes, ma'am earlier.
I would much rather her get along with me when we're talking on the phone and disagree with me while we're on panel.
If there's something that I disagree with, I disagree with it. You know that. But I can't, if it's something that that you make me make sense of it. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody's always screaming that I need to better aware myself of this case and more knowledge of this case. Y'all just don't realize how involved I am in this case. But because my views are different than others, and I hear different things than others, so I'm relaying what I remember and what I know to be, I guess, truth, because we don't know what's truth and what's not in this case. So it's like, if you're making me aware of something that, that I never thought about before, because I tend to be a little bit gullible and blindsided. I do. Right. I'll be the first one. I can be the biggest bitch in the world. I'm going to admit that. But when it comes to a missing child, that is who I'm worried about. Not everything else involved. I am worried about that child. I am worried about where that child is, if that child is okay, if that child is still with us or not. And with Summer, I invested so much. Like it right. A lot of things have happened in the last 2 years with this case in my personal life because of me wanting to be a part of this case, because I put too much of myself into this case. And you've heard my husband say it too, Nana, that like, what happens if it comes back to something that I don't want to hear about her?
Right.
What am I going to be like then? you know, and I
Exactly.
can understand 100% because I am a very, 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 very sentimental person. When it
Right.
comes to per se death, I cannot handle it. I don't handle it very well.
Stitching says that she will put up one of her bears as part of the prize for the scavenger hunt. It's purple for Summer Wells. And that's great, Stitching, because the scavenger hunt will be based on things about Summer Wells' case. I mean, not about the case. It's not like you just have like her name, finding her name in different places and stuff like that. So that actually works really good. Thank you. Like I said, I'm still working on the big prize, and
You're
I'm
too
hoping I
funny,
can get it to work
discovering.
out. So,
Discovering's too funny. If it
wow,
was
what
a
you
man,
think?
it would go along with what anything I said, unless he's a narcissist. Thank you, Jenny. We appreciate that very much.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Yeah, Discovering also says if spell check isn't a woman because she don't get along with women, she gets along with most men. But if spell check isn't a woman, then it's got to be a narcissist man who thinks he's always right.
Stop making me laugh. That's killing my throat.
All right, guys. I love yous. I thank yous all for coming to the podcast. Thank you, anybody who watches on replay. Please make sure and leave comments.
We do read them. I promise you, we do read them.
Yes, we do read them, and I try to answer. Guys, I try to answer every comment that I see. I'll at least give it a heart, letting you know that I have read it. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on whether I like what was said. As long as you don't come at me rude, crude, or disrespectful, then I leave it up. Some of them I still leave up, but if they're really bad, then I delete those. I think it's great when two people with different opinions work together so that way they can bounce ideas off of each other. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And we do that a lot. We do bounce things off of each other. Whether it sticks, we don't know, but we do.
Right. Exactly. But anyways,
This is my
guys,
first call every morning, if that tells you anything. As soon as we wake up, that's like my first text.
be watching for the announcement of the scavenger hunt with all the rules and stuff. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you for being here. Make sure and leave your comments. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you don't like us, please give us a thumbs down. We ask you to. If you don't like us, tell
We
us in
want
the
to know your
comments section
thoughts.
because we want to hear from you.
Yes.
And because whether it's good or bad, it helps the channel. So
not just that, like without y'all, we wouldn't be nowhere. So
exactly. I say that all the time though, and y'all know that.
Make sure y'all watch out for this week for the podcast next week. I will be putting things up, and I'll make sure Nana puts it on her page as well. But y'all just be kind to each other. Like it's such a horrible world out there right now. At least we can be kind to, from our hearts to somebody else. You never know what will happen. Like it does people good. And with that being said, we love your faces.
Oh yeah, it will be 10 o'clock for us, Dipey, for Stitches live, because she's ahead of us or behind us. I mean,
10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah. Bye,
I
guys.
can't make a promise that I'll be there because of the way I'm feeling, but I will try my hardest, and I will set a reminder though.
Discovering, I'll call you here in just a few minutes, hon. Bye, Dippy.
Bye, love.
Talk to you later.
Of course.